Andy Burnham once warned Britain against following America down the road of divided, dark politics. Now, as Britain's new Prime Minister, his first major foreign policy test is Donald Trump. And Burnham's opening move: phone call, football, Manchester, defense, run. A carefully managed conversation designed to keep Trump close, without giving him everything he wants. So the question is, can Andy Burnham build a relationship with Donald Trump without becoming another British leader forced to bend to the American president? Before becoming Prime Minister, Andy Burnham appeared to draw a clear line between his political vision and the politics of Donald Trump. In a speech after returning to Westminster, Burnham warned Britain against moving toward the kind of divided, dark politics he said was emerging in the United States. Sounded like a warning against polarization, against political division, against turning political opponents into enemies. But once Burnham entered Downing Street, the reality of power arrived quickly, because the United States is not simply another foreign country. For Britain, Washington is a critical economic, defense, and intelligence partner. And that means the new Prime Minister cannot simply attack Trump from a distance. He has to deal with him. Within the first hour of becoming Prime Minister, Burnham spoke to Donald Trump, and the tone was anything but confrontational. The conversation reportedly began with football. Burnham congratulated Trump on the success of the World Cup. Then came Manchester, a subject Burnham knows better than almost any British politician, and an invitation for Trump to visit Manchester in 2027. It was a carefully chosen opening, personal, friendly, and designed to build a relationship before the difficult conversations began. Because with Trump, diplomacy is often personal. The question is not simply, what does Britain want? It is also, does Donald Trump feel respected? Behind the friendly conversation is a hard political reality. The United States remains deeply important to Britain. American investment in the UK is enormous, and the relationship goes far beyond money. It includes intelligence cooperation, defense, military coordination, and the wider security relationship between Washington and London. That is why Burnham has signaled that Britain's relationship with the United States will remain critical. But there is a delicate balance. British leaders want to remain close to Washington, but they also do not want to appear completely dependent on the White House. In other words, be close to Trump, but do not become a total follower. That may be the central challenge of Burnham's foreign policy. One of the clearest signals from Burnham has been defense. The new Prime Minister has promised increased defense spending, and the appointment of John Healey to a major economic role sends another message. Britain is signaling that it is prepared to take security seriously. That is music to Donald Trump's ears. Trump has repeatedly pressured American allies to spend more on defense. So for Burnham, this is an opportunity. He can show Washington that Britain is not simply asking America to protect Europe, but it also creates a political problem. Because more money for defense means difficult questions at home. Where will that money come from? The NHS, public services, tax increases, borrowing. And how much can Britain realistically spend while also promising major domestic investment? Then there is energy. Burnham's government is reportedly prepared to approve 2 oil and gas drilling projects in the North Sea. The projects may not dramatically change Britain's energy production, but politically the message is powerful. For Donald Trump, it looks like Britain is moving away from climate politics that Washington has often criticized. For climate campaigners, however, the move sends the opposite message. The criticism is simple. If Britain tells developing countries not to exploit their natural resources, How can it claim the moral authority to extract every last drop from its own? This is the first major example of Burnham's new approach. Not necessarily changing the entire policy, but changing the rhetoric and sending a signal to Washington. The biggest test may not be trade, or defense, or energy, may be Iran. During the call between Burnham and Trump, the conflict inevitably came up. Burnham reportedly promised British help with the Strait of Hormuz. But that immediately raises a much bigger question. What happens if Trump asks for more? Britain has already allowed the use of its bases for defensive purposes. But what if the United States launches further attacks? What if American military action targets Iranian infrastructure? What if Washington asks Britain to provide more direct support? At that point, Burnham could face a major dilemma: stand with the United States, or draw a line, because supporting defensive operations is one thing. Supporting offensive military action is something entirely different. And there is one more problem. Donald Trump is unpredictable. A positive message from Trump today does not guarantee a friendly relationship tomorrow. The American president can change his position quickly. A diplomatic success can become a public confrontation. A friendly phone call can be followed by a demand. And a disagreement can quickly become a political attack. That is why Burnham's advisors may be preparing for a long and difficult relationship. The strategy appears to be: keep Trump engaged, build personal trust, avoid unnecessary confrontation, but be prepared to say no when the stakes become too high. This raises a question about the difference between Andy Burnham and his predecessor, Keir Starmer. Starmer was often criticized for going out of his way to maintain a close relationship with Trump. Burnham may want to keep that relationship, but he also wants to project something different: a more personal style, a more populist style, and perhaps a greater willingness to disagree publicly. The challenge is that the British Prime Minister cannot simply criticize Trump from the opposition benches. He now has to negotiate with him, and that means every word matters. Every policy decision matters. Every phone call matters. Because in the world of Donald Trump, diplomacy is often a test of personality as much as policy. Andy Burnham entered Downing Street promising to take Britain in a different direction. But his first major international challenge is a president whose politics he once appeared to criticize. So far, the message from Burnham is clear. He is not looking for a fight with Donald Trump. He is looking for leverage: football, Manchester, defense, energy, and diplomacy. But the real test is still to come. Because the question is not whether Andy Burnham can make Donald Trump like him. The question is, what happens when Donald Trump asks Britain to do something Burnham cannot accept? Will the new Prime Minister remain pragmatic? Will he compromise? Or will he finally draw a line? For now, Andy Burnham appears to be choosing the path of engagement. But with Donald Trump, the biggest diplomatic test may only be one phone call away.